I think there's just a delay, like there's a delay to start it, there's a delay to turn it off, it just doesn't.
Okay, because a lot of times, it keeps flashing and then we're not really sure if it's on or off.
Sure. I think that'll flash as soon as you're connected.
Good morning.
To that, and it'll stay flashing as long as you're connected.
As long as you're connected.
To the software, it's just like telling you like, hey, somebody's watching through this.
Yeah, so that's.
But it's not necessarily that YouTube's on.
Oh, I see, that it's just that the software is on.
Yeah.
So can you say the same thing? It's not necessarily on, not necessarily off?
Yeah, oh, it's totally, this is on all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just not streaming it all the time. But it flashes when somebody's like on the software.
Good morning, though.
Morning.
Morning.
Thank you.
Oh, the roof looks beautiful, doesn't it?
It'd look a lot more beautiful if it was done.
Well, sure, but.
And all the parking was back and.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a long walk.
We've given out a lot of parking tickets because in the Waldorf, because it's empty, they just think they can go and park and,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
thank you.
I saved one a parking ticket a couple of weeks ago. A week ago, well, it was last week.
You tell them they were gonna get one?
Yeah, some young guy got out of his vehicle and grabbed a book bag and I says, you don't look like you're probably going to the courthouse. No. I says, go over there and read that sign. This is a tow-away zone for anything but courthouse people. Oh, okay. Gets back in his car.
Was he local? Oh,
Well, yeah, kinda. Sarah Gordo played.
Yeah, Carla, a gal the other day too, she's like, I'm not parking 2 blocks away, so you can park right here. So, yeah, keep moving. I wonder if we should get new signs that are just a little bigger or something.
We've talked about that before.
yeah,
Something
a
that's,
year or two ago, we talked about making it more clear.
Mhm.
like a fluorescent sign or
Something,
like that.
yeah.
One,
I don't even pay attention to those signs.
I don't
So
even
I
notice it.
honestly don't even know what they say.
I don't even notice
We
it.
talked about maybe in front of each spot, just a simple parking for courthouse.
Courthouse
Oh, in
parking
front of
lot.
Yeah.
every single parking spot?
Just a metal,
Or
They couldn't miss
maybe
it.
every third or something.
or
At
with
least so you can
arrows,
see
with
it.
arrows like this between them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Something that when you're parking, you can see the sign too. Yeah. I
This
don't know.
is a couple of years ago, but I had to shame one of them. I says, so you can park close. This is some poor old 85-year-old person that's coming in here to renew their license plate or something like that. It's gonna have to walk.
I always say that, there's the
Yeah.
little old ladies who want to come and renew their stuff and they can't get to the handicap door, can't get to the steps. So,
Well, my wife has to start school. They're having conferences today with parents. And there's already 2 elementary teachers with COVID
Oh,
over the weekend.
yeah, Minnesota does those pre-conferences, don't they?
Like Mel said.
Did you start this already?
nope. I forgot about that. Yeah, there's something.
Hi, Carla.
Good morning.
Please enter your participant or moderator code followed by the pound key. Please say your name followed by the pound key. You are the first participant in the conference.
COVID.
Oh, he's got that bad, does he?
It's already going. Okay.
But it's,
Every day he thinks he's getting out tomorrow for the last 10 days.
Well,
He did sound better yesterday. So
hopefully he will be right here just shortly.
did you actually talk to him?
I might go to the call to you and talk to him.
That would be his youngest brother.
Murphy's moving to Forsyth to assisted living again.
Who's gonna live in the house, I think?
He's already there. Nobody. He's got an apartment. Awesome. He's renting because he's home. We'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll consider for approval of minutes and agenda.
I'll make the motion to approve minutes and agenda.
I'll second it.
Got a motion from Smith and a second from Jensel to approve the minutes and agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Discussion with possible action regarding COVID-19 policies. Julie, are you on the phone? Must not be on yet.
Quite some.
Well, I suppose we can move on to number 3, and if she sounds like she pops on, we could always go back. Consider for approval pay application number 2 of the courthouse re-roof project.
That's why I just take them off right away.
Tough to get old.
Yeah, my dad says it's not for sissies.
Julie, are you on the line?
Yep, excuse me, yes, I just got on.
Okay, we'll be with you in just a second.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the pay application number 2 of the courthouse re-roof project.
I'll second that.
Got a motion from Derby and a second from Smith to approve the pay application number 2 for courthouse re-roof project. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Go back to number 2.
Stamped approved, right?
Yeah, there was no sign on it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Discussion with possible action regarding COVID-19 policies. Julie, what do you have for us today?
Nothing new from what Allison reported on last week. Our numbers are still going up. We still are holding our COVID clinics on Thursday in the afternoon. And we're just getting things lined up to start doing the boosters when we get that okay through the state. So,
Have you heard much from the schools? Are they able to control things at the schools, or?
That would be a question for Allison, and I just got back from vacation, so I have not heard if she's been talking to the schools or not. I'm assuming she has, and they have their stuff in place, and we're still communicating with them. As far as anything else, I have not gotten that far in my piles yet.
All right.
So,
Anything else?
not that I can think of.
All right. Do you have any questions?
I don't.
Thank you, Julie.
All right, have a good day.
Thanks, Julie.
Okay, so Scott's not here. Just call down to Eric then?
I just saw Eric getting a pickup.
Okay. I think note said they were supposed to be available.
Well, unless he just, I
Scott's,
know he carried a bag in there with him, but
Scott's
I-
gone today.
I don't know.
Kind of sound like
I-
maybe he was
yeah,
coming.
it sounded like he was gonna be,
I suppose they can call down. First, I better look up the sheet wherever that ended up. I know his office, but I'll call his just in case. So I thought I heard a voice down there. Maybe it was Eric's.
Losing stuff.
yeah, somebody's up to something here. Better make an investigation.
All behind here.
Did we have any questions for him? Road department?
Yeah, no, I don't think.
I guess if we do, we can just personally contact them. And
Yeah, we can
I
call
didn't have any issues. Okay. Chris. Hi, Chris. You got time to come in? All right, thanks.
It's supposed to be sunny today.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
We just called down to the office and didn't know who was around. We saw Eric leave.
Yeah,
So did you have any reports for us or?
we're just doing a little edge rutting right now and so work orders for dirt crew stuff, so.
Did you burn through all the chewed up asphalt then?
Yeah, oh, no, not yet, we're still,
I saw some of it. It looked like it smoothed out pretty solid, didn't it?
yeah, we're mixing it like 80-20 right now with some gravel that's out there,
Okay,
so.
all right.
Did all the asphalting get done, the patching,
We just have the salt shed parking lot,
all that's left?
so.
I looked at 105 going out there by the end of Lake Mel. That didn't look too bad. That
Oh, that
microsurface.
micro surface, yeah. So, be interesting to see how that turns out over the next
Yeah.
several years.
There's some stripe painting now that has to be touched up after they did that asphalt on the Winnebago church blacktop. That one, when they fixed the asphalt and they went over the
Oh, and they
the
chip
new,
sealed
the
it?
new paint.
Oh, yeah, right there at the intersection,
Mhm.
yeah.
So that'll probably be kind of a pain to go back and just do that little piece, huh,
Probably get done in the spring.
in the spring.
Paint's pretty scarce at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got shorted like 5 barrels this year.
Oh, really?
So.
Anything else from you then?
I don't think so.
What's the crew busy with now then? Just the shouldering?
Shouldering for the most part.
Okay.
Got it good. Got a week and a half left of that still.
Well, you do a better job at edge rutting than the state does.
That's good to hear.
They
See,
go
they've
out, and
been-
they put a pile, they have a gap, they kinda get off on the side, and they never clean it. I imagine there's a grader coming later, but
Yeah, it kinda seems like they do that. They put patches out there and then get it a couple.
they only
days.
work with like 2 trucks or 3 trucks, so it takes them forever to get all their miles done.
Yeah,
I had some phone calls about Worth County when they were doing that on 105, that they didn't clean up the gravel that was on the road. They should have swept it off or something because it was throwing gravel around. I said, let me give you some numbers to call.
I think that project starts today.
Yeah, that's what I heard. It's the 105 project.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys have any questions for him?
I don't.
No.
All right, thanks.
Alrighty, thanks.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll go back to drainage. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. I don't have anything other than what's on the agenda.
All right. Did you guys have any questions for her on drainage?
No, except for why is Rick here on other stuff?
We got
For the-
the informational hearing.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
Sorry,
he's
I
here for
just needed
that.
to look farther down.
And he's got the information.
yeah,
Good. Well, that's good he's here then.
yes,
He's
yep.
here to inform us.
All right.
Good.
Well, looks like we'll just wait for the 9:15 in a couple minutes. And
3 minutes.
yeah, I've seen the river come up after the rains a little bit, but the drainage ditches really haven't come up much.
Some, but, yeah, not,
Well, you don't have to drive very far east though and see it really.
Yeah,
will they get even
Creeks
more,
are
did they?
full and the rivers are full
Yeah,
and they went
over
on
that
the
way,
banks.
yeah. When you go through Thompson on 9, you go across DD1 bridge, you just look to the south, it just looks like it just stays about that deep. So I haven't gone under the bridge to see if it's lodged again or not.
Oh. Whether there's a block into the Highway 9 bridge
They
you're talking?
supposedly cleaned it out, but I didn't think they did that great a job under the bridge.
Like past the railroad tracks farther down that way then?
No, I'm talking about the bridge that we cross
Oh,
at the highway.
Oh.
DOT cleaned out underneath there. They got a little mini excavator under there and trying to pull it out and rip wrapped a little bit,
Oh,
but
I
I didn't
see.
think they did a great job. It just seems like it stays a certain depth to the south.
sort of just stagnant.
Looks
in
like
there.
it's, the north is
Yeah,
lower
it's
than the
green
south
all the
side.
time, and
But that's what I mean, isn't that where the railroad goes across
yeah,
a
but
little farther down?
I'm talking
Do you
about
think it's-
between the highway and the railroad.
Oh,
That area, you look at it, it's always green and about this deep.
you get the drone out. Go look and
Yeah.
see what it is.
Get out of your car and walk underneath the bridge.
Yeah. Or, I don't know, maybe it's farther north too.
You could get me a drone. Sorry.
There you go.
That would be fantastic.
Can you practice in the office before you're legitimized?
No.
You know, they have races with those.
Nope, not in for that either.
Get an old Walmart, and they race through the course, and
Really? Oh. It would be handy to have for drainage, but
ESPN used to cover it.
I think that'd be really cool to stand on the road and just be able to follow that down.
Well, looks like it's 9:15. We have a public hearing for Master Matrix for Norway 10 East Site. Need a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make that motion to open the public hearing for Master Matrix Norway 10 East.
I'll second it.
Got a motion from Smith and a second from Jensvold to open the public hearing for Master Matrix for Norway 10 East Site. Morning.
Morning.
Do you have any information on this?
Well, I'm Brian with Pinnacle.
Yeah.
We did the permit. I'm just here to answer any questions. I know Kemp was out there with, they stood when we went and DNR, and they said, you know, that everything looked good as far as
What was your thoughts on it?
I think there was 470 points out of 440.
Yeah.
Okay. Have we had any comments submitted?
I actually called some of the neighbors around just to inform them, but, I think someone was going to actually meet with one of them.
Mitch Baum with Summit was going to, I know.
But other than that, I've not had any phone calls or not any big questions.
Well, I'll offer on anybody that's online possible to make a comment on the public hearing for Norway 10 site. Is there anybody that has a comment?
And you didn't have any written comment? No.
Nope.
All right. Well, I guess hearing no negative comments towards it, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
We got a motion from Smith and a second from Jensvold to close the public hearing for Master Matrix for Norway 10 East Site. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. And I imagine we need a motion to approve the Master Matrix for Norway 10 East Site.
I will make the motion to approve Master Matrix for Norway 10 East Site.
I'll second it.
A motion from Smith and a second from Jensvold to approve the Master Matrix for Norway 10 East Site. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
So we got about 12 minutes until the next timed one. We could go on to discussion with possible action regarding American Rescue Plan Committee. I had mentioned last week that I thought it'd be good to have all three supervisors on that committee. We've got nothing to hide for meetings, be open to the public anyway. And, I think it'd be good to add the supervisors and one other person I had thought about too, that works with different projects and grant funding, would be Melissa with Winward Betco. Might be another one that should probably be on the committee. So, what your thoughts are on it?
You're on it now. The 3 supervisors.
It's
Scott, you, and
and Robert and Chris Colby
was there one from Public Health?
and Julie. The auditors are handling all the grant stuff with us though.
Yeah. But
And I don't care if she's on it,
yeah,
but
but there's other opportunities within this that she may, if we do something with housing or something like that, she may be involved with. I just thought it'd be good to have her on the committee.
Who now? You're talking about Julie or Winworth?
Winward Betco.
Winworth, yeah. What do you think, Bill?
Oh, you know me, I don't have any opinions.
Yes, you do. That works for me.
Well, I guess I'll make a motion to add 2 more supervisors to the committee to total 3, along with the original members and also Winworth Betco director position too. Are you willing to serve on the American Rescue Plan Committee?
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Good, because he's making a motion that he'd be added to
I
it.
know, I heard Winworth Becco said that.
Yeah. And can you make it at 11?
11?
Today.
Yep.
Okay, that's at least the first meeting.
Okay.
So I made a motion to add the 2 supervisors and the Winworth Betco director to the committee.
I'll second that.
And a motion from Derby and a second from Smith to add the 2 supervisors and Winworth Betco director to the ARP committee. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, motion carries.
Where's the meeting gonna be held?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be back.
Thanks.
See you.
Where are we at here? Open forum.
Who's on the NIACOG board?
Yeah. I just- Oh, wait. This would be 2 weeks. You do that in a second.
See, she is. I like how you put the paper clips on all of them to separate them. Keep them straight.
Until they get hooked.
Yeah. Still, it's a good plan.
It's all simple. You gotta keep it simple for the guy with the stamper, otherwise he'll get out of control.
Consider for approval of semi-monthly county claims. Anybody have any questions on the claims?
Motion to approve the semi-monthly county claims.
The second girl.
Got a motion from Jensel and a second from Smith to approve the semi-monthly county claims. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, motion carries.
Yep, thank you.
Looks like we got a few people here, huh?
You standing room only.
How are we gonna handle this?
I think I might come over by you.
Yeah, that'd be good. Since things are kind of rampant, spreading right now. You want help at the table?
Yeah.
Probably should set up more chairs out there.
You gotta sign all those too. It's yours.
That's Chris's.
Okay.
That's for the head.
Whatever, can be here to remember. I know it's, I could.
You're tempted to just sign somebody else's.
Yeah, I ain't signed it, it's crap.
Morning, Jeff. Top of the morning.
If you signed it, you can go ahead and write it first.
She get the table? She get the table?
That's Chris's stuff.
Closest to the door, you can
I'll just crowd in on you.
All right.
Feel like good way to have it.
All right, Bill.
We had it last week.
All right.
Okay, here, you sit, you want to sit next to me? Is this somebody's spot? Okay, okay.
Should throw out a couple more chairs. There's a couple more in the corner there if you guys wanna grab them.
Somebody online has a lot of backfeed on their phone. If you could mute yourself until you need to speak. Somebody on. Thank you.
Otherwise, we're gonna start taking turns singing. That's the time.
I play the piano.
Yeah, yeah. I can play the earpiece concert.
All right, it's 9:30, so in lieu of the singing that Bill wants to do, we'll start the informational hearing on DD 11 Lower Main. This started when, kind of started way back when the improvement project was going through on the top end of the main, and there was concerns on the lower end that it wouldn't handle the water. So we have since gone in and cleared out some trees after we annexed that area at the bottom that wasn't part of the district. It's a natural waterway, and we took the trees out of it, and that's about the extent of what we've done so far. But since then, we've gotten some information through the engineer on what can and can't be done down there, so I guess I'd open it up to Rick to explain that.
Okay. I'm Rick Hopper with Jacobson Westergaard, been over here a few times now. Let me start out by saying there's no project happening at this time. This is just for information on what you have for possible options. Because we're looking at straightening, Army Corps permit is required, and we did submit one. And then early on in the Corps' review, they asked for, I have to look at this because I'd be sure I get it right. They asked for an aquatic resources delineation. Basically a big description of locating all water features, streams, wetlands, other water resources. This is a specialty type report. Hardly anybody does these. Kevin Greggs is a guy who has been involved in mitigation for many, many years. He's familiar with all the types of mitigation. So we got him involved just to get us an estimate. This report comes up with credits, they call it. You need to get credits earned. And then you have to buy credits from the mitigation bank, and that's where the costs really skyrocket. They've estimated 7,000 to 12,000 credits, and I know that doesn't really mean anything to you unless you work in that field. And then the cost per credit is $50 to $125. So in this location and this length of ditch, you're estimating the cost to mitigate these acres to be $600,000 to $1.25 million. Huge expense. And that's where you start looking for other options. We looked at just cleaning out islands in the ditch, taking off some fingers that stick out, rip-wrapping the severest corners, bends in the creek. But that then is a cost of $135,000 to $140,000, so still significant expense. Long ago, we tried to get credit for the ditch that you dug on DD11, the upper main, but ends up it's very hard to get those to be acceptable because you have to build meandering into the stream. You have to put rock check dams in the stream. You have to plant, I keep calling it set aside, but grass along each side of the ditch. Filter strips, and it just ends up, you start affecting the capacity of the ditch. Also, they say if there's mitigation banks in your service area, you have to use those first. And you happen to be in two different service areas that both have mitigation acres available. We're not here trying to talk anybody into any of this. We're just wanting to get the information out, and that's where the board thought an information meeting would be appropriate. I'll leave it at that for now.
I know I did talk to a landowner the other day, and he thought maybe waiting and not doing anything right now, just to see how everything goes with that new main tile project done now. Maybe not spend any more money right now. Just wait and see.
One thing I forgot to mention, one thing you may want to do, there's what we're calling a delta out into the river where this DD11 comes into the river. I think it might have been Scott that asked about this. We did check elevations in the river, and above that location, the bottom of the river is plenty low for 11, and below that delta, the center of the river is low enough to serve 11 easily.
So we don't have to worry about that then.
Don't have to worry about it, I would suggest possibly taking care of the delta. It's basically just silt that's washed out into the river from the 11 ditch. That you could just work with a contractor. We can contact the Corps, but now that you've annexed that in, the Corps doesn't have any say on maintenance of your drainage ditch. So it'd just be informing them of what you're planning to do. We wouldn't have to be involved other than if the contractor wants to look at it with us.
I'm guessing they would have restrictions on when it could be done.
Possibly.
Knowing how our bridge project went on there, they told us because of, what was it, frogs or turtles or whatever it was, we had to do it within this time frame in November or something.
Yeah. We had a project delayed a year because there was a red-sided Days minnow spotted, and it's not that they were in a problem with them, just they'd never seen them that far north. So they had to do more investigation, delayed a ditch project a full year. So, but that would be part of what we'd inquire about.
Okay, all right. So I guess I'd open it up to comments from all of you. Like he said, we're not pushing to spend more money right now, but we wanted to get the information put together so you understood. If we wanted to improve this stream, that we annexed, this is what it would cost. And, I just wanna make sure we don't move forward with something that you guys don't want or need. Maybe it's good enough for now. Any comments?
Is anybody having trouble with drainage?
This
Dave
year?
has a comment.
No, last year.
Well, there was all kinds of problems with drainage last year, but, we've done some, just cleaning out the trees, I think did a lot, just to clear up that part of it.
Is the clean out from .3 to .2 on the map here.
Is that where you clean is where it's,
He's wondering if we
Oh.
cleaned out from 3 to 2. Or how far did they take trees out?
They took it pretty much to the center of 2, there isn't that much else for trees, further down, as I remember.
so where
I think
exactly would the cleaning take place?
It would be over the entire length that you see from the center of 2 to the river.
From the center of 2, so we're not cleaning up into section 3.
3 is included in our estimate for cleaning.
Okay, so if we
So
were
it's all-
just to clean it out, it would go where the 11 outlets now to the
Yes.
river.
Yes, correct.
So the whole length to the river.
From 2 to the river, years ago, my neighbor Bob Ambrose and I, we paid to have that cleaned out to the river. And not happy about having to pay anymore. We didn't get any help from anybody for that.
Right. And I'm sure your other neighbors thank you for doing that.
Any other comments in the crowd out here?
So when will you determine that it needs something after everybody on the bottom floods out, or how are you gonna determine that?
We won't know until we have a saturated ground and
But then those on the bottom will pay the price. Right?
No, everybody in District 10 and
No, he's
But
talking
you
about
lost a crop,
for damage.
damage,
I see.
you know. It'll be reactive instead of proactive, is what you're saying.
So Jeff, is your thought that you'd rather do more now?
Well, my thought is, you annex stuff in, you got the outlet, with nobody paid for any of the bottom. You made a huge improvement on the top, that this is gonna carry the water through now, so people on the bottom might, your tiles and your tile system will be compromised. Cause we're gonna be backed up possibly at the bottom.
We don't know that yet, but the
You gotta
trouble,
assume-
the trouble is the possible 1.2 million for the mitigation, which that's what you guys gotta decide is whether you would rather wait and see what happens and then pay that mitigation or you can be proactive with it if you guys, but it's your guys' money, you guys can make the decisions.
And I'm not a proponent of spending that much money.
Mhm.
You spend a lot of money at the top,
are you thinking about?
but you don't have a roadway to handle all that water right now. I mean, with the obstruction downstream, it'll back up on the people down at the bottom. Nobody at the top is gonna their water's gonna disappear. It's gonna come downstream.
Is it your opinion we should spend the 135 to 140,000 on the clean out?
I would think you would wanna protect those at the bottom, possibly do that, rip wrap where you need to be.
I'd agree with that.
The cleanup part of it seems reasonable, it's the mitigation part that's,
And how do you do the mitigation down at the bottom? You do it like the top, you spread it over everybody? Or are you just gonna affect the landowners at the bottom?
Well, everybody pays into it above there, right?
He's asking though, the mitigation on the upper and the
Oh.
main tile project, the board decided to have it split amongst all the landowners there,
Yeah.
would you do the same down in this project?
For the mitigation
Mhm.
part, oh, now we're back to that. It's kind of a precedent set.
So that's how you'll take all
We can take
projects?
each by case, we have the right to do that, but, you know. Guess I don't know.
I would have a thought that we don't have any saturation. We spent a huge amount of money up top. We cleaned the trees out. Do we take the risk of flooding the lower end? Yes. Howard County, we had 13 inches of rain in 40 hours. Any cleaning wouldn't help anything in the projects there because it overwhelmed them. We do take that risk, but we spend a lot of money and the trees are out. I would be supportive of letting it go till a year we have see what happens with a normal rainfall. Do we even have a problem? The delta he mentioned, that could be a problem, but.
And that's a minimal cost there.
Oh, yeah.
We can do that just as a maintenance thing and not really, you wouldn't hardly even see it in your bills. It'd be pretty small, spread out.
And what you got billed for 11 Lower Main this year, if you were to do that 140,000, that's about what I billed this year. So it would be that same amount next year. Because this year I billed out all the engineering fees for classification, getting in touch with the Army Corps, doing that report, getting the trees engineered, getting that part engineered. So all of DD 10 and all of DD 11 pay for those costs too.
I know.
You're gonna have a lot of issues with ditches, as dry as the summer's been. You got so much canary grass going up through the bottom. You got dams all over the place just out of natural grass. And it's gonna hold the water back.
So then we know we got a problem now in this lower end, is that what we're saying? We don't know that we got a problem?
Well, I guess go back to the report.
Yeah, there's somewhat of a problem. I mean, any natural stream like this just keeps meandering if you don't protect the banks, which means more sill, which means other delta, or settling out somewhere else in the ditch. The level of problem is hard to put a good estimate on, but yeah, it'd be best to take out the islands and the fingers and riprap. Again, not trying to talk anybody into it. I have no problem with your possibility of waiting and seeing how it reacts, but there is a chance it's going to adversely affect the people on the lower end.
You know, we changed it just by taking the trees out, so it
Yes.
kind of got disturbed that way. We didn't have much rain after that to flush it out, really. Until just recently, we had a pretty good rain, but the ground pretty much soaked everything up, and we didn't really have that flush. So it's hard to tell. I'm guessing a lot of that where the trees were, and we uprooted them. I'm guessing it's probably grown back in with vegetation and kind of protecting itself a little bit, I suppose, but.
So what's the downside of waiting to do the possible $140,000 clean out with adding the riprap? And I mean, is it gonna cost more if we wait to do that?
Probably not cost more, but it could cause damage to crops in the lower area.
So really, it's the crop damage that's the number one
Yes.
issue.
If you waited a long time, you'd get the meandering to just even get more serious, but a year's time, you won't see that much change.
So like Chris said, if everyone has just recently been billed for that kind of numbers, then you all know where you're at there a little bit.
But I think their statement will be different because the people on the upper end are paying for that big project.
Right.
So it isn't gonna be reflective for those people, cause this
Well,
costs just way less money than.
It's separated though on your
Is
tax
it
statement.
separated?
Yeah, it says 11 LM or 11 MT,
Cause some
so
people,
each one is separate.
some people I think were surprised at their bill for what that project cost.
Right, and I talked to a number of people, yep.
So were there people that you talked to, Chris, that aren't here, that you,
Yeah, I had the one landowner that I did talk to and he suggested just waiting. But maybe wasn't thinking about, you know, adversely affecting anybody. So that's whatever you guys want.
Talk about spraying them trees that they took out, they're coming back like everything. I mean, I just drove by there this morning, they're all sprouting up again.
So now would be a good time maybe to get B&W in there and spray them. We have, we do a lot of spraying on the ditches to keep the trees down, and it's probably time to spray those, to stop them.
Did you just spray the right of way or you just took trees out in the right of way?
Right.
And now you just spray the right of way, so that'll be billed to the district.
Right,
But you need to spend the money to keep the trees out.
Right, we have a program about every 3 years, every ditch
Yeah.
gets made.
but Chris, we can come in and spray individual
Yeah, I
ditches
can
like
call
that?
and have him come and just do that part and then it'll get on that 3-year rotation.
Because we have a contract, he told us which ones we're gonna get it this year, and he would just come in and do this one.
What he'd like to see is do a third of the county, you know, just do everything every 3 years. Right now, he's been coming in and he'll do some over here and over here and over there, and that's kind of a waste of his time. So he's trying to get on a 3-year based on where it is in the county.
But not every ditch reacts to, you know, the pressure of trees too. Some are closer to other trees and vegetation that will spread faster, so. Now, is there any comments from people that are on the phone call?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I probably am with the mindset of waiting, and see what happens. I understand that there might be some impact, that we don't know, but, you know, we've also not been able to really see what's going on this past year or since the upper has been cleaned. But I definitely feel that if there's trees coming back, those need to be taken care of.
Yeah, and I think at the very least, we're gonna be doing that, and we'll probably look at trying to get a contractor to at least clean the delta out at minimal cost.
Anybody you use would be familiar with that type of work, and we probably wouldn't even have to look at it with them, but we'd be willing to if that's what it took.
Right. Okay. Any other comments from people?
I have copies of that report if anybody needs them, and business cards if you wanted my number to call for any reason.
Well, I would say my opinion formed from the mass of the group here would be that, you know, hey, we'll look at what the next year brings. I don't know what your thoughts are, how you gather it, or.
Well, we know one of the options is out. That's easy, right?
Yeah, and I don't know what we're gaining by that. Did we gain a lot if we did the mitigation and all that?
Well, what you end up with is equivalent slope is greater because you're shortening the distance it goes, but leaving the elevation difference the same. So you're increasing the capacity downstream by the straightening.
Oh, we were supposed to call
Yeah.
Hancock County at 9:45.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hello? Yeah, it is. We're just about done with the hearing here, so hang on. All right. Yep. Is there a way to?
Put it on hold.
I don't see the whole thing. Oh, yeah, Mark. All right, so any other, I don't know, Bill, what's your opinion on this?
It would be nice to be able to protect the guys from their crop loss on the end, but that mitigation is just ridiculous. But, we also have the unknown, because with the better drainage upstream, it does create that sponge effect somewhat, where it's gonna dry out faster. So if we do have big rain events, we do not know yet for sure how bad the flooding on the lower end is gonna be, and with the trees being out of there. But, yeah, I think, cleaning that delta out and getting the trees sprayed and stuff, and then, I guess if it was me, I'd wanna see what's gonna happen first.
Yeah, I want to keep a close eye on it. If we don't do anything cleaning out wise, I'd like to keep a close eye on it and see how it reacts. If we start building up, even in the spring, you know, when it's frozen and things are just, you know, flowing instead of melting, that'll kind of be an indicator of how it reacts too. But I guess that's where I sit on it. That
So if we didn't take action today, would that benefit anything? I mean, is there more discussion that would want to be?
well, we really don't have it on our agenda to take action today. It's just an informational hearing.
Right, so is there more information that we can get? Is there more information that we can get these people, or is there?
The only extra information there is to get is to find out how it's actually gonna react after we've done what we've done.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna just have to depend on Jeff and those landowners down there to call us when there's a rain event to let us know how it goes.
So what's the option forward then if it's constant flooding downstream?
Well, I would vote that if
Then I
we,
have to petition the district to have it cleaned?
yes,
I would say that'd be a good start.
and then we know what we can do because we've already done the reports.
Then it would be a repair, and we already have the information put together for it, and it wouldn't take long to get that going.
This outlet provided a lot of drainage upstream.
Right.
So, you know, I don't think it should be a big issue if it needs to be cleaned.
Yeah,
I agree.
we're not against it, we just wanna do the right thing and keep the cost down for people and, but still have a good product that is gonna serve everybody too. Is everybody okay with that, you think? All right. Well, like I said, this is just an informational hearing. We'll do what we can to solve some of the minor problems for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
So how do I do that?
Is everyone's name that was on the?
Hello.
Not the one on the phone.
I know I didn't get it.
Are you there? Okay, now we're up. We had a room full of people about an informational hearing. Sorry about that. It's drainage, you know. So can you hear us then?
We got it ironed out then?
They're not.
Slide another 100 under the door. That's the only way it happens.
Get out.
The worry is when you answer yourself. That's the worry.
They were there.
We were there, and then I hung it up.
We can call their number.
Yeah, I should have go and find out who that was. They'll call us back.
Well, I've got a number that we can call.
So
And that gets
you were
into
on
their
the
meeting.
upstream part of it, and then, what would you say if they decide, means you benefited from all of it?
I'd be happy to pay.
Would you be happy to have the drainage district pay for the crop damages for the guys?
Hello?
on the lower end?
Nope.
She didn't even
Okay, hold
hesitate.
on.
Not
Are you
all-
there?
Not all is fair,
Yep.
all more in drainage.
We'll just
isn't
think
it?
of it.
Okay.
I get a lot of people's water.
Sorry about that. We're having a little phone problem here. Okay, so we're all ready to go. Are you guys ready to go?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So on our agenda, it says teleconference with Hancock County with possible action regarding a parcel in DD 39-37. So I believe this is the one where it's the property between the ditch and the road. Is that right?
Yes,
And it's in the district right now, as
Yes.
far as ownership.
back in 1963, the landowners deeded it to Winnebago County, or to the drainage district for $553.
So we have to figure out how we dispose of this if we choose to get rid of it.
Yeah, and Hancock County is the lead county for this district, and Ann has done some work with an attorney, so I told Ann that we would kind of listen to what they had recommended, and we'd kind of do what they'd like to do.
So what's Hancock County's thoughts?
I don't have, what is,
He said, why can't, keep it?
yeah. Well, what?
He said, why can't the district just keep it?
Well, that was my thought. Why are we even giving it back? Or why do we want to give it back? Why don't we
So,
just stay the way we are?
and then the district will just pay any drainage taxes?
They own it, yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess the district would pay the drainage taxes, and then, of course, the landowners would have to, that's part of the levy to pay that. Yeah. But we can't give it back. That's what our attorney said. We can't give it back.
But we,
We'd have to have public hearing and all that, and that would all cost a lot of money to do all that.
It's fine.
all right, well,
Yeah.
I guess you guys are the lead county. We'll just go with what your thoughts are.
Well, I know giving it back was the simplest, but we can't legally do that. We'd have to have a public hearing, people could bid on it. My gosh, who knows who'd end up with it.
Well,
Junkyard.
and at the time we were talking about giving it back, we didn't know how it was acquired.
And we didn't know how we could get rid of it.
And we didn't either, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
So that made all the difference in the world when we actually paid something for it.
Yeah.
yeah, when we bought it, that changed it, remember?
Yeah. And that's fine. I just wanted to make sure that we all knew that this was owned by a district. I hadn't ever come across that before.
We have never either.
So how many acres was this?
It's like 1.2 or something. It's
1.2
minimal.
acres.
Yeah.
So the district.
1.58. Yeah, I just paid $10.
$10.
Mm-hmm. But I just had Winnebago County pay for that because it wasn't about to.
That's for sure.
No, the drainage district needs to pay for it.
Yeah, but DD 39 paid for it. I didn't send a bill to Hancock because it would have been like 20 cents or whatever. So
Okay,
the district paid for it, just our county
okay,
portion
okay.
paid for it.
Okey dokey.
So Hancock County owes 20 cents.
I don't know what the split is, and maybe we would have only owed 20 cents.
Something like that.
Whatever it is, I don't remember the split amount, but it was just as easy to take care of it,
Sure.
so that's fine.
So we'll be looking for that check to come.
Yeah, right. All right,
Julie already has
That
it.
makes sense to me. And
Yeah, that works.
just-
If everybody's good with it, I'm good.
we just want to make it clear that in our minutes that what action we did or did not take.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I think we're probably best just to leave things alone.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thanks for all your
All
work,
right,
Ann.
thanks.
That,
Have a good day.
Thank you.
thanks.
It was mostly just because it was such an anomaly.
Right, I didn't know a district could own property, so,
Weird.
right. So I'm fine if we own it.
So one question would be, what would happen if somebody wanted that to do something on, whether it's,
And the owner on the west side was getting paid payments for it, for CRP, until the NRCS figured out they didn't own it.
yeah,
So that's no longer.
can we get?
Can
payments?
you? I don't know.
Can the disc know it?
Right,
Maybe
I mean,
the
well,
district-
right, can the
Okay,
district,
so
I don't know.
I did check into, I'm not sure government entities, I know nonprofits like a church cannot go into CRP. But I don't know if a government can go into CRP. I think
And
it has
it's
to be
not really a
private
government either.
So does that mean it's not in CRP anymore?
It is not in
Well,
CRP.
Wasn't Sunnyside CRP was?
Was it? It could be.
So I bet we could get CRP payments on it.
That would be great.
And the district would get that.
Well, the district, definitely,
Yeah.
yes.
Supposed to help towards their, but it'd just be the Winnebago side of it that would get it, right?
Well, I feel like that would be wrong.
It covers that $10.
So I feel that would be wrong, but,
We can check into it and see what the logistics are.
Mhm.
But
and I don't know how CRP works as far as maintenance. You know,
There's
does it need to
maintenance
be,
involved.
Definite maintenance.
so who does that?
We'd have to hire it.
And then the district would have to pay
Because
for it.
you would, they have a program
Right.
where you can hire them to come in and seed it. And then I'm sure they have people who will go out.
Or if trees grow up in it, that have to be removed and.
Or if I think you have to do one mowing cut at some point or one or
burning.
two over a period of years.
So that would need to be decided and put in the minutes
And
too.
maybe it's one of those things where we just have our road department go out and do it and we bill it back to the district.
However you want to
How
work
many
it.
acres is this?
1.58, more or less, it says.
So it's not a big CRP check either.
No, but
If it would,
Somebody must be doing something with it, otherwise the grass would be out of control.
and it may be out of
it's
control.
probably in CRP, but they're not getting the money anymore.
Right.
It's been established. So if we do it, they're gonna have to dig it up and reestablish it.
Maybe. And there's an expense.
for sure.
So that would be another meeting with Hancock County to decide what to do with that.
Or we just let it sit and make sure the weeds don't grow up.
And we can maybe have secondary roads check on it when they're on their road.
Or is
Or
there,
would that be conservation, since it's right next to the road, or no?
Speaking of that, trees and secondary roads, there's a ditch up by Buffalo, it's got trees that are really bad.
I have to let Ethan know.
Yeah.
Well, or Robert. Robert will be here at 11.
I drove by it a couple days ago, so suddenly I just remembered that. I'm thinking, man, there's trees growing bad now.
Are you too big to spray?
No, I don't think so. A couple of them maybe.
Okay.
I don't know if they've been missing that spot or.
I was just gonna ask.
And that would be beneficial when they come around, if you actually did go out and ride with them. So you know of something and you say, have you seen this? Because he asks every year if you guys want to go and nobody ever goes.
If we knew which third he was working on that time, that would be helpful.
Right, right. And that'll be something now that he's getting into that I can say, where are you at in the county? Definitely.
And I have such a small portion of it.
So,
You can just keep your eyes open for the rest of it.
Yeah.
right.
And I do.
I know you do.
All right, well, we're kind of at the part of our meeting. We have to wait till 11 o'clock. We got an hour. Almost. So this is probably the end of this meeting, right? Are we gonna leave that going, or are we just gonna?
I can see if I can figure out how to pause it.
Because we don't necessarily have to record the planning committee meeting.
Yes, we do, don't we? Because we're all on.
Oh, okay. Well,